Dobrý den.
Good morning.
Dobrý den, dámy a pánové.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Srdečně vás vítám zde ve velkém
Warm
sále
welcome
Kongresového
in
centra České
the
národní banky.
conference hall of the Czech National Bank at the occasion of the 7th year of conference on responsible procurement. It is organized under the auspices of the Anti-Monopoly Office, and the organizer of the conference is the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs. My name is Hanna Látalová. Together with Adam Gromnica, we will guide you through the conference. Good morning also from me. We are happy that there are so many of you. Yesterday we had discussions about strategic procurement. We also talked about innovations, pros and cons of centralization in public procurement. There was also a discussion about auditing mechanisms, and we also covered professionalization.
To, co nás čeká dnes, tak to vám představí kolegyně.
Today we will have quite a lot of interesting topics. We will talk about trends for the future and about the situation in the Czech Republic in public procurement. Today's agenda is divided into 3 parts. In the first introductory part, we will speak about development in the Czech Republic and responsible public procurement. Then we will hear experience from Austria and Slovakia. And the third session is dedicated to measurements, calculations. We will speak about the importance of data and about data collections and relevant tools. Then we will have lunch, and after lunch we will have a session that will be quite difficult in terms of logistics. There will be 3 locations. The first hall we will speak about purchasing of food and catering. The second one will be about the energy efficiency in a small hall, and the third location intended for 15 people. It will be in English on gender responsible public procurement.
Pokud jde o tu další část po přestávce na kávu,
then there will be a coffee break, and after the break we will hear examples of good practice from the Czech Republic. Then there will be a round table discussions about responsible purchasing in health sector. This will be only in Czech, and then in a small room there will be a discussion about European Competence Center on public procurement. In the back on the long table you will find the list where you can write your name and register for the relevant discussions regarding the European Competence Centers. I would like to ask the representatives of these centers to register for this session. Then the conference will be concluded by the representatives of responsible procurement who will speak about the challenges in the Czech Republic. That's all about the agenda for today. And now I'd like to invite Leona Steigerová-Gergelová and the Deputy Minister, Mr. Klik.
Prosím, posaďte se. Prosím, posaďte se.
Please take a seat.
My bychom vás rádi poprosili o to,
We would like to ask you to
kam se vlastně posunula Česká
outline
kam došla v tuhle chvíli Česká republika
Or actually, not maybe only outline, but to speak about the development in the Czech Republic so far regarding the responsible public procurement and also describe today's situations. And we hope that based on the following discussions, we will outline the future development. So now I'd like to ask the Deputy Minister for Regional Development, Mrs. Leona Steigerova, to describe the development so far. And because the burden is also of the public procurement is also on the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs, I will be happy if Mr. Glick could also elaborate on this topic of responsible public procurement. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the invitation. I am in the situation of invited dinosaur, historic dinosaur, I would say, who have started to work for a completely different ministry than before, but it's actually within the competence of my colleague. But let's speak about the beginnings of the projects. This conference is the last conference of the current project, ongoing one. I will speak about other projects in the afternoon. So just a brief summary of the past 6 years. As you know, the Czech Republic and public procurement, this is not an evidence-based principle. It is not like that we would have data, and based on the data we would create policies and strategies. So together with the Deputy Minister, we have tried to prepare in terms of qualitative data. If we look together at the good practice examples from 2016, it was a conference we had 6 years ago. We had only a few examples of good practice. Maybe some of you remember that we emphasized the support for employment in the city of Most or Kadaň. We also engaged university graduates in that. We also talked about cleaning and office paper, and we also emphasized fair labor conditions. We wanted to show what we have achieved, but we were only testing it, and we had to make sure that we were doing it right. After 6 years, there will be many more good examples. There is also today I can see there is the head of the Supreme Audit Office who is present today, and I would like to greet him, and I know they have always been awarded for responsible public procurement. So the situation is really different today. There are many public authorities who are doing it really well, and it is also really nice to see that there are many cities such as Jičín and universities that are doing it really well and have many examples of good practice. The topics we talked about 6 years ago are employment rate, decent labor conditions. Another topic was also purchasing of fair trade coffee. We also talked about green public procurement, especially in relation to furniture and ICT hardware, but these were only several small procurement. We also talked about the topic of SMEs. After 6 years, today we are here. We speak more about decent and dignified labor conditions. We also speak about green procurement a lot. I think there has been changed and shift in what we require, not only individual products, but we place emphasis on circular economy. This is something we did not discuss 6 years ago. And also we place more emphasis on fair supplier relationships. There is one example from Masaryk University. It will soon be published in a magazine. They also covered in their contracts how the supplier and contractor and subcontractors should behave. So Masaryk University was really very successful in drafting a very good contract with very good clauses that were implemented in practice regarding supplier relationships. And other topics, impact on communities, local impacts of public procurements, the topic of participation, and also in the afternoon we will speak about gender aspects in public procurement. So this is just briefly about the shift in topics. Now just a few words about numbers.
Já možná přes pozvánku do institutu, kde je stále více seminářů.
We organize more and more seminars. You can see on this slide how many conferences we organized and how many examples of good practice we have from Czech Republic and also from abroad. And yesterday we talked about the section 6, paragraph 4, and I would like to show pros and cons of this section. And now I will actually have a dig at ourselves. I want to say that when we actually have higher requirements now, but we struggle with really huge decentralization. It happens that happens very often that there is only one contracting person, so it is quite difficult, and the topics are very varied. Just like my colleague says, that in the morning I walk my dog, in the at lunchtime I deal with issues of food procurement, in the afternoon construction procurement, so it is quite difficult. So here I would like to show you the survey we did among the registered participants of public procurement. Someone may say that this is already biased because these are the people who has already made the decision, but it is not always like that. They are just people who want to come into terms with this section 6, paragraph 4. So this was the survey among these entities, and we actually looked at the biggest barriers. I would not call them only the barriers related to section 6, paragraph 4, but also barriers that are related to general trends, where we want to head for communication with suppliers and so on. So there is still very high emphasis on formal correctness, safety. We talked about this internally. Many people just want to be on the safe side and not to get into troubles, so this is more important for them. So therefore they are still afraid to implement some innovations. We talked about that yesterday, about this emphasis on formalism and also insufficient management from the local entities. So I think we really need to realize how big the potential is here, and the Ministry of Regional Development definitely has a huge potential that needs to be used.
První evidence-based, já už jsem o tom mluvil včera, jedna z těch sudiček, možná si vzpomenete, zmiňovala, že by si moc přála, aby to skoro dvouleté dítko vědělo, kam míří. Možná je to ambiciozní vědět, jestli
heading, maybe it's ambitious to know whether child be studying university, become doctor, architect, or anything else. Maybe it's too ambitious, but for the future we should know better where we should be heading. We do not want to fill in further forms and questionnaires, but within this platform next coming years we should be postponing ourselves further based on the research, based on hard data. We should know where we stand currently, what people are afraid, how the procurers are procuring, whether they are just trying to comply with the legal requirements or whether they really use responsible public procurement.
My jsme právě zapředli s paní náměstkyní dnes ráno možná hlubší debatu, než jsme sami čekali při té ranní kávě či čaji. Teď už jsme se tady potkali v ČNB půl hodinky před tou 9, kdy já jsem skoro celý svůj profesní život prožil na veřejné vysoké škole.
I was mentioning that my professional life I spent at the university, where we were procuring within the public procurement. We had to cope with all the difficulties. I was mentioning,
odhlédněme od vysokých škol, které přeci jen mají nějaký aparát administrativní, kde prostě ti lidé mají
maybe not focusing on the university where people have clear visions, they have opportunity to educate themselves, think about public procurement, they may participate in training, but there is a lot of procurers like small municipalities where in the afternoon, has already been mentioned by the deputy minister, the mayor has just one assistant, one accountant, he has to prepare the public tender, has no time to do it, has no time to focus on it, and of course the primary goal is not to undergo any risk. They get a subsidy for the sewage system. The subsidy exceeds 10 times the overall budget of the municipality, so they are shocked. It's very difficult for such persons to evaluate the situation, and they just try to comply with the legislative framework. I understand that the main interest of procurer is to minimize risk and avoid any potential problems. Nevertheless, our main role is to postpone the public procurement towards the situation where the auditors be enlightened, the stakeholders be tolerant,
aby k tomu přistupovali samozřejmě s rozumem a trestali skutečně porušení zákona a smyslu zákona, a nikoliv to, že někdo v rámci checklistů něco vyhodnotil, ať už tak, nebo tak. Musíme prostě zapracovat na tom, aby z toho strašáka, který se to pro mnoho zadavatelů před těmi necelými 2 lety stalo,
For
aby to
many
skutečně byla
procurers,
nabídka, možnost, jak bezpečně a
responsible
zároveň odpovědně
procurement
zadat.
became
Takže
sort of a nightmare.
jakkoliv vím,
On the
že
other hand, the
toto ctihodné
public
shromáždění
procurement,
má
responsible
sloužit a
public
slouží hlavně
procurement
tomu,
should
abychom šířili osvětu
support all
a
them,
pracovali na tom tématu odpovědného
should be a
zadávání.
new way. We should,
Tak
of course,
za sebe,
work
protože
hard
jsem
on
dlouho působil
responsible
kdo prostě samozřejmě nechtěl ty
procurement.
vratky
On
a nechci ani teď pochopitelně,
my
protože
behalf,
jako sebe
I of course
příjemcem
do not want
prostředků
to
z OPZ plus a z dalších operáků,
witness
tak
the
rozumím
necessity to
tomu, že to prostě je ten
return
primární
the
zájem a hned
subsidies,
zatím
to
je, ale
refund the
přiznávám za
subsidies
sebe,
because
možná
of
přízemně, že
some
je až sekundární zadat to
wrongdoings
odpovědně,
or errors.
odpovědně podle šestičky.
But
No, podle šestičky
we
samozřejmě,
should
ale odpovědně
be
a přispět tak
able
něčemu, protože prostě
to
pořád tam
procure
chtí té obavy je.
responsibly in compliance with six
těch zájmů.
So the question is what we are to stress, underline, as I have mentioned, I understand that small procurers like municipalities have primary interest. They draft a checklist. They will always prepare the bids or tenders for the minimum or lowest price. Nevertheless, we are currently in a situation where there is a major change, and I'm glad we have already achieved this particular point in our history, but we should have to go further. You know, I think it's important to be unified in what we want to stress. We both agree that what is behind us, I will be in the afternoon talking what is the future. Nevertheless, I think this is the right time to extend our thanks to all of you who were able to deal with the difficult conditions, who were willing to go ahead with responsible public procurement, who are disseminating information about responsible public procurement. It was hard work, explanation. So we really would like to extend our thanks, because thanks to all of you, we were able to move further during the course of the past 6 years. It is still complicated, it's still very difficult, but at least we do something, we are moving further, and thanks to all of you and the Supreme Auditor Office, we are being known in the European Union for the responsible public procurement. And one additional thanks to the whole team of responsible public procurement team at the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs. These people should be thanked a lot.
Dovolte mi poděkovat vám za shrnutí cesty k
Thank you very much for summarizing the whole journey towards the responsible public procurement. Thank you very much for your words of thanks to the whole team and all those who have participated on the journey towards responsible public procurement. Thank you very much.